Hey, it's Drybear. And today I'd like to answer a very important question around how to increase your cyberware capacity in Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 update. If you didn't know, if you haven't been playing, the armor system and the cyberware system got an overhaul in 2.0 right before we got the launch of Phantom Liberty. And now you desperately need cyberware to make your character durable or open up other opportunities for you in order to excel at whatever build that you're working on. The game was changed so that your clothing options, which used to give all your stats to you, no longer do. There are some that still give a minor amount of stats, and you can wear those and then put a outfit transmog over the top of them, but that would give you your specific character. Now, the cyberware is where all the value comes from. You have your armor built into your character, and you also have the cyberware giving you all kinds of stats and bonuses and all kinds of things that you want to make your character more powerful. However, there is a hard cap on how much cyberware your body can handle based on how far into the game you've progressed, how strong your character is, and how much you've raised your cyberware capacity. So today we're gonna go through all the ways you can raise your cyberware capacity and why you might want to do so that you can raise it up as high as possible and make your character as strong as possible. Now that your armor is based off of your cyberware, it's super important that you get good value out of this. Armor is essentially the same as it is in any RPG, damage reduction. It is resistance to damage or mitigation against damage. The higher your armor is, the more tanky you can be, and especially if you're playing on very hard or even in Phantom Liberty where you can get one shot, having lots of armor helps tremendously. You get most of your armor from skeleton cyberware and integumentary system cyberware, but there are some other options that will give you armor as well, like legs and larger chunks in your cyberware kit. But each of these cost a certain amount of cyberware capacity, and as you want to upgrade these, they will cost more and more and more. The higher rarities will cost more, the better options will cost more. You can see that even just my Sandevistan on this run through has a 39 capacity cost to run because it's one of the best in the game, and so you have that cost already built in. And so sometimes you have to really choose where your powers of cyberware go, but also where you're willing to sacrifice in the cyberware category until you raise your cyberware cap. Now, as you level up higher and higher, you're slowly adding a little bit to your cyberware capacity, but there are specific talents that you can pick up in the character builder that allow you to raise this instantly as soon as you unlock the talent. Now, each of the attributes built into the game, including the new one that comes with the expansion, all have their specific requirements and benefits that they go with. And cyberware is primarily attached to technical, which is your explosions and your bonuses to cyberware capacity. And there's a few things in here that you'll get that will allow you to raise your cyberware capacity just by putting a few points into technical and grabbing these perks. The first of which right here is the Renaissance Punk. This gives you +4 cyberware capacity for each attribute at 9 or higher, which means the maximum you can get obviously is kind of limited, but it does give you a nice boost early on. You 4, 8, 12, 16, even 20 attribute capacity points being added to your cyberware early on in the game can be very, very valuable, as it's pretty easy to get any stat to 9 or higher. And in most builds, you will get your 2 primary stats to 9 right away, so you can start spending perk points to get those unlocked. So this one is super useful and very easy to get. Now, it does require you to get 9 points in technical ability, which will get at least 4 for this capacity here. And it does require you to get all things cyber, which is pretty useful. It increases the stat modifiers for cyberware that you have equipped and reduces the capacity cost for your defensive cyberwares that you have slotted in the 2 systems that provide the most. Next, at 15 technical, you can pick up License to Chrome. This doesn't directly give you bonus cyberware capacity, but it is super valuable, and it gives you cyberware stat modifiers, extra armor, which is essentially like having another skeleton item slotted into your cyberware. You're all chromed up in that aspect because 40 is quite substantial. And the last one gives you a new cyberware slot for the skeleton, which means you can have even more stats on that. And all skeleton cyberware have boosted stats. I think if you're playing on very hard, you probably want to have License to Chrome in every build that you're making, just so you're not one-shottable by most things in the game. And if your build allows for it, you can pick up the Edge Runner talent, which is the final 20-point technical ability, and it has an image of David Martinez's jacket looking away, just going over the capacity of cyberware. So this allows you to increase your cyberware capacity by up to 50 points, but as you go over your capacity limit, you'll have a little bit less max HP, which you can counteract by putting points in body or just having gear that have HP on it. And also, when you neutralize an enemy during combat, there's a chance for each point over capacity that you'll enter Fury, which gives you 10% damage, crit chance, and crit damage. So you go into the super state if you're over capacity, which makes you this mega cyberware user. So you're primarily looking at points in the technical tree and of course leveling up your character, which are both kind of slow and can be quite costly depending on what build you're trying to go for. However, there's a third option for increasing your cyberware, which is important to know early on, especially if you're new to the game, because you get this while doing side quests mostly. And that is the new progression shard system that they added in with 2.0. They made it so that any character that you kill in the world, and specifically ones that you kill from side gigs, and of course the NCPD criminal activity reports, these will drop progression shards. They can give you XP progression for your secondary progression categories like shinobi, ninjutsu, things like that, which helps you level your character in things that you aren't currently actively pursuing, like solo, if you're someone who's not really doing any kind of upfront combat. And they also drop capacity shards for cyberware, which each seem to give about 4 cyberware capacity increase each time you pick one up. And in my experience, having completed most of the base game in every way looking for these shards, I can tell you that the majority of them come from high kill count missions on the main missions, but primarily from side gigs and open world activities. So if you walk by a random group of goons or scavs that are just hanging out on the street, they have a pretty high drop chance for cyberware capacity shards, and also doing the NCPD scans and the gigs tend to have a pretty high capacity shard drop rate. So if you're looking for that, I would recommend doing side content if you're trying to increase your cyberware capacity, and also it just encourages you to progress more into the game to get that and get a nice save file that has more cyberware capacity built in. And not only are there new cyberwares that were put into the game that are incredibly powerful, there's still old ones that were either buffed or have more stats. And honestly, the new crafting system is great for being able to upgrade these and modify these, and you can take some builds all the way to the moon for output and effectiveness and durability. It's actually ridiculous what you can do with cyberware. So if there's interest, let me know. We can do a cyberware video going over all the best cyberware in the game, including getting second life so that you die, you come back to life, all the different options for berserks and Devistan, and massive hacking for a quick hacking build, as well as all the crazy new options you have for your ARM cyberware in the new expansion. If you found value in the video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and I'll see you on my live stream. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.